Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, June 22nd, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab or the Experts tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. First up, we have the Roku game between the Orioles and the Yankees. We got Dean Kramer and Will Warren as the projected starters. Now, Will Warren did struggle quite a bit in the two-start stretch between the Red Sox and Dodgers games, giving up 11 runs in about 7 2/3. But since then, he's been a lot sharper. His last two games, 11 2/3 combined of 3-run, no home run baseball with 15 strikeouts and only one walk given up. His control's been a lot better. I think he pitches pretty well in this game. I think he gets the run support as well. Dean Kramer's last game on the road, not too shabby, 5 innings of 1-run ball. But overall this season, Kramer's got an ERA just below 6 on the road. I know the Yankees have been pretty inconsistent offensively and tough to back recently, but I'm going to roll the Yankees on the run line in this one. Next up, we've got the Tigers and the Rays. We've got Casey Mize and Zach Littell as the starters. Afternoon game at Steinbrenner Field. Zach Littell's giving up a lot of sharp contact this season, a lot of home runs. I think he's in trouble a bit, but I also think Casey Mize can give up a few runs himself. He's gotten into some trouble in the last few games. The opposing teams have been able to get a lot of base runners on him, some sharp contact to go with it. I think we see runs early and often in this one. Give me the over. Next up, we've got the Rangers and the Pirates. We've got Jack Leiter and Bailey Falter as the starters. Now, I know it seems I've taken the Pirates a lot recently, but this is a situation where I just think they have the advantage. Obviously the Pirates a lot better home record than the Rangers on the road, and Bailey Falter's been pitching really well. He's at a sub-3 ERA at PNC Park this season. Jack Leiter's control's been an issue recently. He's given up a lot of runs. You got a Pirates team a Rangers team against left-handed pitching that has been dreadful in the last 30 days. Falters has a good matchup here, and while the Pirates bullpen is missing Dennis Santana due to suspension, I still think they have enough here to hold on to a lead late. I'm going to roll the Pirates on the money line at PNC Park. Next up, we've got the White Sox and the Blue Jays. We've got Chris Bassett and Adrian Hauser as the projected starters. Hauser returns from the paternity list. He's pitched well so far in limited work this season. I do think, though, regression is inevitable for Hauser. I don't think he's going to be able to hold his 2.15 ERA as the season continues. He's not been as good on the road as he's been at Guaranteed Rate Field, and this is a tough Blue Jays lineup, and Chris Bassett's been a profitable starting pitcher as of late. The Jays have won his last 4 games with a few run line covers in there as well. He's pitching deep into ball games. He's only given up 1 home run his last 3 starts combined. I'm going to roll the Blue Jays in this one, lay the 1.5 runs at Rogers Center. Next up, the Braves and the Marlins. We got Bryce Elder and Sandy Alcantara as the starters. Sandy's been able to put together 3 competitive outings in a row. His last game against the Phillies still wasn't his best start, gave up a couple of home runs, but also wasn't his worst start. And his ERA is continuing to decline or shrink as the season goes on. And, Bryce Elder, we mentioned we thought he was going to pitch earlier in this series. He's moved here on Sunday. He pitched really well against Miami last year. I think he's been better this season than I expected. I still don't love him, long-term in this Braves rotation, but I think he'll be good enough to keep this game lower scoring. I'm going to lean towards the Marlins and the under in this one. Next up, we've got the Brewers and the Twins. We got Quinn Priester and David Festa as the starters. I think this is going to be a competitive game. I think both these starting pitchers pitch well. I'm going to give the advantage to the Twins bullpen, and I'm going to lean towards Minnesota on the money line. But David Festa, sub-2 ERA at home this season, 19 innings, 19 strikeouts, a low opponent's batting average, only 1 home run given up. He's been a lot better at home than on the road. And then you got Quinn Priester, who's been everything and more than what the Brewers had hoped for going into the year, or when they picked him up. He's got about 70 innings of work with a 3.46 ERA. They've won his last 4 starts. He's been a really competitive starting pitcher, giving them much-needed innings at the back end of that rotation. I think we see a competitive game, like I said, but I think that Twins bullpen has the advantage, so give me Minnesota. Next up, we've got the Reds and the Cardinals. Andrew Abbott and Miles Mikolas are your starters. Cardinals decent numbers against lefties in the last month, but Andrew Abbott has proven to be one of the better left-handed pitchers in the National League so far. Can he keep it up? I'm not so sure. We saw him give up 8 base hits his last game against the Twins. A little bit concerning with 2 home runs to go with it, but only 1 earned run. It was 4 unearned runs in that game, and it still ended up being a Reds win 6-5. They've won 4 of his last 5 games. He's been one of the more profitable pitchers in baseball, and the Reds are crushing right-handed pitching. They face Michaelis, who is not one of my favorite options in this Cardinals rotation. I'm going to take the Reds in this game on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Mariners and the Cubs. We've got Logan Gilbert and Colin Ray as the starters. Another situation where it looks to be pretty hitter-friendly weather at Wrigley Field. Logan Gilbert can certainly give up a couple of home runs in this game. I wouldn't be surprised. He's given up, usually when he gives up some runs, it's via the long ball, but he's also got great strikeout stuff throughout his career, and so far this season, 54 strikeouts in 35 and a third innings. His first start back from injury, he goes 10 strikeouts in 5 innings against the Red Sox. So I think Gilbert, outside of a couple of solo home runs, as long as he doesn't get into issues with his control, should be really strong in this game, and I think that he's going to be the better option compared to Colin Ray, who's pitched well so far, but I do worry about regression as the season goes along. His strikeout numbers, well below strikeout per inning. He's been better. His last game was better against the Pirates, 6 innings, 2 runs, but even before that against the Phillies, 4 and a third innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, a homer. I just think the Mariners are going to be too much offensively against Ray early on in this game, and I also think the Mariners have the better bullpen, so give me Seattle in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. We've got Brandon Pfaadt and Antonio Senzatella as the starters. Afternoon game between 2 starting pitchers I do not trust. We talked about Brandon Pfaadt at the beginning of the season. Good numbers on paper. The expected numbers are through the roof. Now his ERA is at 5.38. He's given up. His last game was a little bit better against the Blue Jays, but he's still given up a lot of sharp contact and a lot of earned runs in his recent outings. And Senzatella is not much better on the other side with an ERA above 7.5 at home this season. He pitched really well against the Nationals his last game, but I think the Diamondbacks get to him early and often. He's got miserable numbers against the current Diamondbacks lineup with a .514 expected slugging percentage and a very low strikeout rate. Give me the over. Diamondbacks, Rockies. Bring a glove to the ballpark for this one. Next up, we've got the Red Sox and the Giants. We got Lucas Giolito and Robbie Ray as your starters. Now, Robbie Ray, a left-handed pitcher, has been one of the more efficient lefties in the National League, but this is a Red Sox team. It's hit lefties quite well in the last month, and Lucas Giolito, despite his early season struggles in his first couple of games, has been a very profitable pitching option for Boston as of late. He had 10 strikeouts his last game against the Mariners in a 6-inning shutout, and the Red Sox have won his last 4 games. They've also won 6 of his last 7 games. Yeah, 6 of his last 7 games. So he has been a winning machine. I think that the Red Sox can win a game here for him. I'm going to roll Boston on the money line. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the Athletics. We got Slade Cecconi and J.P. Sears as your starters. As we saw in the first game of this series with Jeffrey Springs on the mound, the Guardians are really struggling against left-handed pitching. So I know J.P. Sears hasn't had the best 2025, but he's got a great matchup here. The Guardians are near bottom of the league in every important hitting metric in the last month against Southpaws, and that's with a very, very large sample size. Springs pitched into the 8th inning in that first game of this series. He was almost unhittable. Sears may not be as strong, but I think he'll be good enough, and I think the A's can back him up against Cecconi. I'm going to roll the Athletics in this one on the money line. Next up, the Astros and the Angels. We got Ryan Gusto and Kyle Hendricks as the starters. Neither one of these options are my favorite in terms of starting pitching, but got to tip my cap to Kyle Hendricks. I did not see his last performance coming. 6 innings of 9 strikeouts, shutout baseball against the Yankees. 4-0 win. The Angels have won his last 3 games now. I think he's going to be the better option in this one. I think the Angels can back him up. I don't love Ryan Gusto on the other side, and while I don't love this Angels bullpen, I think they'll be good enough in this game to hold on to the W. Give me the Angels on the money line in this one. Next up, the Royals and the Padres. We've got Seth Lugo and Randy Vasquez as your starters. The Royals starting to quietly play better baseball as of late. They're scoring some runs as well. I think against Randy Vasquez, we see KC get on the board early. I think Lugo's a good option for the Royals to start this game. I trust this Royals bullpen. I like KC in this one on the money line on the road. And as far as my bet with Brad Francis, who's going to end the season with a better record, Twins or the Royals, starting to get a little bit worried. Minnesota's obviously not been playing great baseball. KC is starting to heat up. Next up, the Nationals and the Dodgers. We got Mike Soroka and Shohei Ohtani as the starters. Now, on paper, this seems like a completely, lopsided pitching matchup. Shohei Ohtani, when he's on the mound, when he's healthy, has been one of the better pitchers in baseball, and Mike Soroka's got an ERA above 5. But for me, in the early part of the season for Shohei on the mound, I just can't trust him. He only had 1 inning of work in his season debut or pitching debut this year, and he gave up a run in that inning, and he really wasn't the sharpest with his control. He has not pitched any rehab starts. He's not pitched. He's obviously had some simulated games and some throwing sessions in between these games for the Dodgers, but nothing official on the mound, on a major league or even minor league mound for Shohei Ohtani. And Soroka, I've mentioned many times, I think he's better than his current ERA. His expected numbers are sharp. He wasn't the best in his last game against the Rockies, but it still was a quality start. He made a couple of bad mistake pitches, that's for sure. But if he can limit the damage in this game, I think the bats are going to back him up. I think Shohei Ohtani will be eventually a good pitching option for this Dodgers rotation. But in the early part of his season on the mound, I can't trust him. I got to roll the Nationals in this one at a great price, +1.5, maybe +2.5 runs. Next up, we've got the Mets and the Phillies. We got David Peterson and Jesus Luzardo as the starters. Two lefties that have struggled a bit against the opposing team in the current lineups. The Mets have pretty good numbers against Luzardo, Phillies against Peterson, but for me, I think Peterson's been the much more trustworthy option, at least recently. I know Luzardo had a bounce-back start against the Cubs where he went 6 innings, a 1-run ball, but followed it up with 4 more runs given up against the Cubs, 4 walks in 5 innings, and an 8-3 loss. And the Phillies have lost 4 of his last 5 games now. A lot of those were blowout losses. David Peterson, we've talked about it this season and even last year, the expected numbers not being the greatest, the regression concerns being there. His strikeout numbers are way down this year, but he's still been able to limit the home run ball, work out of jams, and even though he didn't really work out of the last game, I kind of questioned the decision for the Mets to bring him out in the 8th inning in that ball game to begin with, but he gave up 3 runs against the Braves, ended up being a loss for New York after they had a lead. I still think Peterson's been the much better option and more consistent option compared to Luzardo, and I got to roll the Mets in this one. The Mets, not the best numbers against lefties in the last month offensively, but the same thing goes for Philadelphia. I'm going to roll the Mets in this game on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Experts tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.